The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy.
You are listening to Canary Crime News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Crime News Talk. Today is December 1st, 2025. We are live to tape on episode 896. And today, TECHNO, CORPO, Communism. Signing on from Off the Grid, Razzle Dazzle. I'm your best buddy, Basil. You are not crazy.
And my name is Gonz, at Face Like the Sun, director of the Age of Deceit Films, your favorite Asian provocateur for Christ, live to tape from the metaverse to bring you the best news, which is the gospel message of Jesus Christ, while reporting the egregious with a well-rounded, biblically grounded take on world events. It is Monday, first and foremost.
What day is it? Monday.
And in 1959, on December 1st, the Antarctic Treaty was signed.
Oh, big day.
Big
Great.
day. Yeah.
I've gotten an update on the new Antarctic Treaty they are working on. It hasn't flown past. I wonder if this is something that is happening behind the scenes and there's just too much stuff going on, or if it's taking a little break because of all the other crazy stuff going on. Who knows? I don't know. But we're back for the first time since the Thanksgiving holiday. Gonz just learned how gravy is made. And the rest of the world is getting back to turning here, Gonzo.
That's yeah. I did the full course, cooked the full course, which is I don't know how many dishes it is, but it was a very busy Thursday for me. But good times.
Yeah, you did the whole thing. I, on the other hand, for the first time, had some responsibility to make a dish for Thanksgiving. I had never been given this responsibility before. I did it. I nailed it. It was I was responsible for the what was it? Sweet potato dishes, and I did two. I did the classic marshmallow because you got to have the classic marshmallow.
You didn't do the cranberry sauce in high school? That was the thing all the kids did because it was the first thing.
It comes straight out of a can.
No.
Real right out of a can. And I left it. I left it in the can shape as God intended. You're supposed to get a little cranberry loaf going.
Oh no, you're supposed to get a bag of cranberries,
little slices. It's good.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
No, this is my first time. Besides opening the can of cranberries, I did the regular marshmallow one because that's how it is in the Bible, and I'm a Bible believing Christian. And did kind of different fancy one. You have to get some goat cheese on there, some nonsense. Both were a hit, so big deal, big year.
I think they were just trying to make sure you feel good, so you cook two dishes next year. It's creeping in, I'm surprised. What does it say about Basil Rosewater that 2025 was the first time he had any responsibilities to make food on Thanksgiving Day?
Yeah,
that is wild.
I've got sort of a larger extended family, so there's just lots of other people doing lots of other things. But
true.
I think I passed the test. I'm finally a man. Okay. We are back. Of course, we want to put a shout out and some prayers out there for the two National Guardsmen who were shot on Thanksgiving Day. I believe it was Thanksgiving Day, right? Wasn't the day before?
It might have been the day before. I think they might have passed on Thanksgiving Day, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, so prayers for the family. I think at least one of them passed. It's a very strange story, one that sort of dominated over the weekend. But there's also some other very sneaky things going on in the world. Before we jump into it, I want to give a big old shout out to everybody who joined the Canary Cry supply drop before the deadline last night at midnight. Very happy about that. Very excited. And I thought maybe we should give a shout out to our executive producers here at the top of the show. I know we haven't been doing that, but let's do it real quick.
Let's do it. I'm down.
So we are
all
on the
of them.
There's a couple of them. I think there's two, maybe
two
three.
minimum. Yeah, there might be three.
Yeah. No, just executive producers here.
Yep, executive.
So, yes, we're on the value for value model, which means we take no money from corporations, commies, cartels, none of that for any advertisement, platform partnerships, sponsorships, none of that. We are entirely sustained by our producers, and that's you, folks. We try to create as much value as we can, as often as we can, even the day before Thanksgiving, whenever possible. Because that's what it's about. And the understanding for those who have been around, for those who are sick and tired of the monetization of their consciousness, of the selling of their time to corporations for personal gain, of the podcasters, they get it. They get it. They get value from that, and they understand that it can only continue when value goes back in. You can produce the show. Go to canarycry.support to learn all about it with your time, your talent, or your treasure. And again, a big old shout out to everybody who signs up for monthly producerships. That goes a long way to keeping us alive, especially during the slow times of year. But the executive producers are those who come in for $100 or more for any individual episode. And so we like to thank them here at the top whenever possible. And of course, we want to thank Sir Jamie, not the Lannister, coming in with his weekly tithe. Thank you very much, Sir Jamie.
Thank you very much, Sir Jamie.
We also have back on the list Sir Igorius, Baron of the Squatting Slavs.
Hey, Sir Igorius.
Great to have you on the list, Sir Igorius. He sends a little note, says, "Bless you guys and your families. Thankful for you both. God is so good. Amen." Thank you.
His legs must be so strong now if he's been squatting for that long.
Lots of squatting. He's the Baron of the Squatting Slavs. And last but not least, of course, we have executive producer Sir Alex Protocol V2, Baron of the Breen Protocol. He's coming in for $100.33. Thank you, Sir Alex. On a 443 episode streak, almost to that 444 streak. Okay.
Yeah, crazy.
And a 97 episode executive producer streak. Thank you very much.
Alert!
Okay, wait, there's an alert.
I have a snail mail. Executive producership, and I have a note. It's snail mail, so it took a while to get here, but the note says, "Thank you for all you do and for the no doubt hours upon hours of research, editing, producing, all the rest we don't see. I can only imagine the work and effort required to do what you do. It's so crucial to have your voice in such crazy times as we are inning. I can't tell what that last part is. Thank you, Joey. So thank you, Joey, for the executive producership. Appreciate it.
Executive producer Joey, thank you. And last but not least, we had actually an executive producer just come in right now under the wire, thanking executive producer Felicia D. Thank you,
Felicia D. Thank you, Felicia D. Always.
Okie dokie. Let's jump on in. We'll thank some more producers later on in the show, and there's still time. Go to canarycry.support. Okay, Gons.
I had my coffee. I'm punchy today.
Good. You
the machine is not
both. Carry us both through this.
Oh, that's right. Basil is under some influence, I would say.
I feel like
just to put it lightly.
Garbage. Total garbage today. I woke up at 5 this morning, but I didn't look at the clock. I thought I had woken up in the middle of the night, and I wasn't I had a hard time going back to sleep. So I took some, some like what are they called? Like magnesium, L-theanine, some like various go back to sleep things. And only after I had taken the pills did I look at the clock and saw that it was 5 o'clock in the morning. I should have just stayed up, but I basically just took sleeping pills when at 5 in the morning. So I feel like total garbage, but we're here. We're doing it. All right, let's check in. We've got a very interesting series of events here that will connect with some very big topics over the past couple episodes. And I think this really wraps everything up in a nice little bow and explains all that was missing behind the scenes in some of the bigger aspects of the economic shift, CBDCs, the economic transformation, the only way for the United States to get out of its 37, 38 and counting $1 trillion debt. This is not going to get paid off. We went over the broad strokes of the plan. I think it was last episode. But this kind of answers the remaining questions. Let's start out, however, by checking in with Bernie Sanders. And
Bernie.
it also happened, I think it was last episode, where I played a clip from AOC to make the point that very interesting sort of progressive Democrats who are trying to find ways to gain back some of their lost turf over the last presidential election and other shenanigans. And it's very strange to hear AOC going on a 5-minute rant that sounded like it belongs on Canary Cry News Talk. Of course, with the expected sort of progressive communist flair, but that is the point. We are reaching this convergence point where Elon Musk talking about, UBI or high universal basic income, talking about robots taking over in the next 5 years. We have the crypto transition, all this happening at the same time. And I think it's important that we keep an eye on the progressive side of the aisle politically, because they're starting to sound a little bit more and more sane. And it's starting to sound like they've been listening to Canary Cry, or perhaps have some backroom deals with Elon Musk. I don't know. But here's a clip from Bernie Sanders. Let's see if we can follow along.
Artificial intelligence.
Blockchain.
And to tag on your little introduction there, I got getting the clip ready here. Yeah, I think maybe the Democrat side of the political aisle built their whole thing on a not so strong foundation, and so a lot of the facade is falling apart. They built their castle out of feathers, and so now for the Democrat aisle, the shore has gone out, and now the only people left are Bernie Sanders and AOC, and then they're sitting there starting to make sense, which is a scary thought in a sense. But here we go. Here's Bernie Sanders. He's at some event. This is some AI event, and he has something to say. It starts off with a question from the audience, and then there's like an AI guy up there with him, so he says a few words, and then you'll hear Bernie with his take, with all the dramatic music, because this is straight off of Bernie Sanders'
I was just wondering,
YouTube channel.
have you seen the movie WALL-E? Because I feel like, as you've been saying with AI and all the potential benefits, why does it not make sense for us to invest all of our money, all of our time into developing really, really powerful super AIs so that they can just take care of all of our...
I'm not asking it to think.
Why did it do that?
Me.
Sorry about that.
I'm asking it to...
Why did it do that?
I'm not asking it to think.
Jensen Huang, you are not supposed to be on screen. Okay, apparently Zoom function fails.
Yeah, you zoomed, you scrolled to the next YouTube short there.
I wasn't trying to do that, but sorry about that, everybody. Okay, I need to just open a new tab because that tab...
Reload.
That tab is toast. Okay, let's try that again.
I was just wondering, have you seen the movie WALL-E? Because I feel like, as you've been saying with AI and all the potential benefits, why does it not make sense for us to invest all of our money, all of our time into developing really, really powerful super AIs so that they can just take care of all of our problems? And in the future, we don't have to worry about things like working and jobs.
Okay, let me answer that. If we had a political system that was run for the benefit of the people, that's exactly what we should do. We should have very powerful AI that does everything for us. We should be very careful to design it so it cares more about us than it does about itself.
Do you think that is what Mr. Musk and Mr. Bezos have in mind? Do you think that's why they're spending hundreds of billions of dollars to say, hey, isn't this great? We could lower the work week. We can guarantee healthcare, high quality healthcare to everybody. We can expand life expectancy. We can solve global warming. Man, let's go do it. That's what we want to do. Do you think that's what these guys have in mind?
That's literally what they say.
And what Dr. Hinton was saying is exactly the issue. Are AI and robotics inherently bad? Absolutely not. But again, I get back to the point that I started. Understand, the people who are pushing this transformative revolution are the richest people in the world. They are not staying up nights worrying about working people. In my view, they want even more wealth and they want even more power. So the struggle is not whether AI is good or bad, it's who controls it and who benefits from it. That is really the fundamental issue in my view.
Okay. The irony of that clip is he basically lists all the things that Elon lists about how his AI is going to, create this, in other words, basically communist utopia, no reason to work. Everybody gets an income just for being alive, which, kind of is the communist, at least the propaganda side of communism. We know that this has never worked this way, but this is the promise that's being made. And so, as we've been tracking, and as is now become clear, the Elon techno, what's the word? Techno feudalist, techno libertarian, whatever you want to say, is kind of swooping all the way around. It's been giving the same promise as communists or socialists like this. And, two sides of the same coin. This has been a big part of unveiling the propaganda here on this show and the shows for a very long time. But I think it's precisely more interesting for Bernie Sanders to be, giving the AI communist promise here, because this was a huge part of the Mamdani election campaign and election as mayor of New York. Was all these these similar promises, right? Now, it was an episode or two ago, we watched some clips from Mamdani and Trump's meeting in the White House, which was unusually friendly, not even just friendly, jovial, and even sort of to put it in different words, there was camaraderie there. They were on the same page. Trump said he would live in a Mamdani, New York, and they all want the same thing. And it's, this is amazing. Well, I'm here to help him. I don't want to hurt him. I want to help him.
We've gone so far right. The others have gone so far left that we're meeting in the middle in the circle there. We're back at each other's. Yeah, this is what's
as it sort of always has been for anybody who's actually paying attention. And it required, and this is the funny part, in order to come to this conclusion, which our people did 10 years ago, in order to come to this conclusion, to the truth of the matter, you have to be looking at the tech side of it. Without the tech side, without an unyielding obsession with the state of robotics and AI and sort of techno ethics and all these things that we built our community on, you can't come to these not only realizations about the left and right and how they're meeting in the middle. On the other side, the continuum is not a line. It's not left of center, right of center. It's a circle, and you are placed somewhere on this circle, and the circle meets at the top and it meets at the bottom. The top is sort of moderates, where left and right come together, bipartisan establishments, sort of authority loving partisanship, and on the bottom end of the circle is where the far left meets the far right, where the communists meet the sort of techno-feudalists, was one way to put it. And that's kind of where we are. The world has come, the media has come, and the politicians have come, and history has come to a place where you cannot ignore technology's role in what the future is going to look like. And there's this very interesting story. It was actually posted in October, so we're a little bit late on the reporting for this, but I think the timing is perfect because I don't think it would have meant as much if it were not for the meeting between Trump and Mamdani in the White House. This is coming from Coindesk.com, a crypto news outlet here.
Basil bringing crypto news outlet to the show.
I'm on your turf, Guns, bringing crypto news.
We're breaking down walls.
Coinbase-backed pilot program hands out $12,000 in crypto to low-income New Yorkers. A new Coinbase-funded pilot in New York is exploring how crypto aid via dollar-backed stablecoin. There's that stablecoin again. USDC could change the lives of young adult residents. Now remember, I won't go over the whole theory again, but we've gone over it in the past couple episodes. The financial state of not just the United States, but of the entire liberal financial world order is coming to an end. And we have two choices. Either we find a way to pay off this debt, which is impossible. The options government has built in the past was to inflate their way out of the debt. You devalue the dollar so that their $37 trillion debt,
38.3 trillion. It's always on the screen. It'll be on the screen often.
It's inflated, so it's not actually 38 trillion. It's, you can debase it by trillions of dollars just by printing more money. And that's worked in the past, but it's coming to the point where we can't do it again. We can't do that. We're never going to get out of it. That's just kicking the can down the road. And so, as I explained, with the Genius Act and the Genesis project coming from the Trump White House, the plan is obviously to introduce not CBDCs as we normally think them, central bank digital currencies, but to invite banks, central and otherwise, to be able to produce their own stable coin. So it's not a nation state stable coin, it's a network state stable coin. So stable coin, it's the plan we've talked about forever, but it's even more of the plan we talked about because it's stepping outside of the traditional nation state structure, which is going to be gone quite soon, and into the network state,
or matter less. It'll be almost secondary to what network state you belong to.
It won't be very relevant. What's more relevant, and it's already kind of this way now, is network state, which is citizenship by corporation, or something akin to that, to those words. And we have the first one here. It's happening in New York. Let's see here. I'll just give you the bullet points here. 160 New Yorkers aged 18 to 30 were chosen to receive $12,000 in USDC. That's United States. What is it?
United States dollar coin.
Yeah, United States dollar coin. It's a stable coin. One of the first stable coins.
A company called Circle.
Through Coinbase wallets. Okay, so it's going to be custodial $12,000 in USDC in a Coinbase wallet. So the control of the tracking, everything about this $12,000 is not held in a government thing. It is held in a corporate thing, distributed as one lump sum plus smaller installments. The program, run by Give Directly, which is a nonprofit, of course, and seeded with Coinbase funding, aims to test how crypto-based aid compares with traditional cash transfers.
It sounds like this is a form of money laundering, the Coinbase.
So we have
use like a charity group or whatever to
you have an NGO. So of course it's coming through NGO, the nonprofit Give Directly, which has run cash transfer programs in dozens of countries, is administering the pilot. So this NGO, this international NGO that has run basically UBI programs all over the world, is the one that's going to be running it in New York. And the big difference is, and this is key here, it's not taxpayer funded. This is not, the government is not involved. It is purely a corporation paying a UBI to low income New Yorkers. And that's another key. The former CEO, right? His former CEO of Coinbase is highly involved with the White House. He's buddied with Trump. He's not necessarily a lobbyist, but he holds government office in the sort of cryptocurrency task force. He's maybe the most powerful sort of crypto bro in the government right now, and he's responsible for ushering the government through the Trump administration into the Genius Act, the Clarity Act, it's involved in the Genesis project we talked about last episode. So this is the guy. His corporation, or his former employer, I'm sure he's still very heavily invested and still heavily involved in Coinbase, so it's not that Coinbase could or even would just start a UBI program on their own. It's the fact that they're so integrated with the government already. And this is where we start seeing the network state effect. This is where we start seeing corporations taking over the job of government. We see this happening in AI and elsewhere, but crypto being a huge example of this. And let's see here. Unlike traditional guaranteed income trials that send recurring payments over long periods, Future First gives recipients a large $8,000 lump sum and 5 smaller deposits of $800. The approach, directly says, is designed to help participants make bigger financial moves, such as paying a security deposit or covering tuition. Funding comes from Coinbase, which previously abandoned its own direct giving initiative, but redirected $2.6 million in remaining funds to give directly. Darren Carter, who leads U.S. policy and grassroots advocacy at Coinbase, told Bloomberg the program is meant to provide, quote, financial support and crypto education for young New Yorkers. And so we have this is only possible because of Zoran Mamdani, the communist, socialist mayor of New York. There's a very good reason why this is happening in New York. There's probably several very good reasons this is happening in New York, but I guarantee you that this is done in conjunction and in partnership with the mayoral, soon-to-be mayor of New York, Zoran Mamdani. And because the CEO of Coinbase is in tight with Trump, of course, Trump will say anything before, a campaign or an election, because that's what you do when you're a politician. But I don't think it's a coincidence that they were so buddy-buddy, that Trump was so supportive. I think that it was even Zoran Mamdani himself in other interviews about his time with Trump said it was actually surprisingly productive. It was better than I ever expected. We got a lot done. We want the same thing, and we're going to be helping each other. I guarantee you that this, convincing, or if it's not convincing, this deal making with Zoran Mamdani to let Coinbase in to the sort of to do the job of the New York government, at least the job that Mamdani was promising, things like, various sort of communist or socialist policies, where he actually can't do in government. He's restricted. His power isn't there. He made a ton of promises that he's actually doesn't even have the power to do. But with, wheeling and dealing in the White House, letting the crypto corporations come in, deliver on the Zoran sort of socialist policies. I mean, this is straight up. This is as significant, I think, as Trump sort of rebranding Hillary Clinton's North American Union and the Amero. Those long-term Canarians will remember this from about the 2012 era of conspiracies, which it wasn't even a conspiracy. It was just, watching just and listening. Documenting
public documents that people,
what Hillary Clinton and others in the government were proposing, which was the sort of globalized, borderless North American economic zone, or you can say network state. And we're seeing that come alive here. I think it's very interesting. I think it answers the questions about Zoran Mamdani and Trump's for new friendship. It answers the questions about Coinbase's CEO being involved so much in the government, the Genius Act, the upcoming Clarity Act, and the UBI, or Elon Musk's high universal basic income, because they cannot, and this is one of the problems, you cannot do either universal basic income or whatever name you want to call it, this sort of, again, most would call it a communist or socialist type of plan. You can't do it with the United States dollar, because you would need to print so much money, you would collapse everything. But if you're doing it through network state stable coins, and I walked us through the plan last episode, or 2 episodes ago, where it's the banks through the Genius Act who are able to now issue their own stable coins to borrow and take loans off of their own stable coins, but effectively giving the banks the ability to triple their deposits. Meaning if you give them $100, they store that $100 in value in $100 in stable coins. So instantly that money is doubled. And then they or you can even borrow off of those stable coins, which effectively is tripling every dollar that goes into the bank. This is how you clone your money to get out, or to be able to pay that transition the economy without inflating the dollar into some astronomically apocalyptic amount. And
it's some spreadsheet magic to make it appear as we are paying back the debt.
It's the Babylonian money magic, empowered and bolstered by the sort of mid-20th century cyberneticism occultism. And here it is. We got the pilot program. It's going on now. They go on to talk about in the article where, they get the $8,000 right away. They get it in a Coinbase account. So their money is
they said Coinbase wallet. They said Coinbase wallet. And this is where a little bit of the technical, as I'm absorbing the story more as well, as you're talking as well, I'm realizing that there are levels to the scam going on that are transparent, but not enough people know how it works. And so they're, they just can't do anything about it. Not that we can do anything about it anyway, but
the point is that they instantly basically increase the net worth of these low income New Yorkers, but it doesn't go into a bank. It's not in USD. It's in a Coinbase wallet, meaning the custody of those coins is still in Coinbase. It's not, it's barely.
That's where I want to, if it is the decentralized wallet they have, then no, technically you hold the keys. But here's something going back to the Coindesk article here.
Well, no, just real quick, because let me give you the thing on the wallet there. So they'll encourage you. So you, in a way, this is a step out of bank, out of the traditional money system, because remember, that's the only way we're going to get out of this, is you got to step outside the USD the normal banking system.
Rails,
so these people,
or normal rails.
They get all their money, but it's in the new system. So instantly they are native outside of the regular banking system, where they can use a Coinbase debit card and spend the money like a debit card. They can withdraw at ATMs if they want. They can, or leave their funds in the crypto wallet to earn the 4.1 interest that you get on the USDC. And that's why I think this is a custodial situation, because when you leave your funds in the wallet and earn interest, that's not your coins. You're giving, it's just like a bank. You're handing it over to them. They get to do whatever they want.
They do have both there available. But so in that section there, promises and pitfalls, it says here, using crypto instead of cash adds both efficiencies and risks. Okay, so they're going to talk about the risks. And the first risk they talk about is that they can lose the peg to the dollar, that's an obvious risk, but that's not the biggest risk. And then the other one is young people might participate or be tempted to speculate with their windfall, which, people might gamble using that money. All right, that's a risk. How about USDC total surveillance of every single dollar being spent, and Coinbase being able to make educated decisions on maybe to, for example, dump the market if they saw, let's say it's about $2 million, right? Right. This is theory. This is not what happened. Okay. But I'm just trying to explain the transparency. If they want to track every dollar of these individuals that received this about $2 million, 160 people, this was back in the beginning of October when this was reported. And I'm just thinking about the markets. October 10th, we had this crazy dump. It was one of the biggest dumps in crypto history. So I'm not saying this is related per se, but in theory, they could track every USD coin that they issued and basically get a general idea of what people did with it. Did they invest in crypto? So and they can make Coinbase as a company if they want to, right? This is where the ethics and the imbalance of power with this is soft power. And in the crypto rails, it's just hard to believe that these big companies like Coinbase are, I guess it's really pushing the line between what's ethical and what's just profit, and obviously in corporate, this is a problem
very
with
similar. It's very similar in essence to WorldCoin and
it's exactly the same.
the trade-off that scanning your iris and giving your biosignature to Sam Altman to create a sort of globalized beast system cryptocurrency sort of slave class. This is very similar. You're taking low-income people, you're hooking them into this system, and hopefully this will help them and they can do whatever they want, but it serves as a pilot not for the people, it's a pilot for Coinbase.
This is like the craziest surveillance pilot for how to track crypto as it becomes adopted mainstream.
Yeah, because they want to, if this goes well and Coinbase gets whatever they want out of this, or at least the data that, helps them figure out how to do it in the future, there's nothing stopping Coinbase from expanding this kind of program with the backing of the government. And as a corporation, this has nothing to do with taxes. This has nothing to, because that's a big problem with the UBI thing, is who's paying for it? What does the taxing look like, et cetera, et cetera. This has nothing to do with the tax system. It has nothing to do with the government aspect of the economy or the Fed or anything. It's essentially, we've been watching this war with the Fed. Look, we all know how we feel about the Fed around here. And the crypto overlords, the techno overlords, feel similarly. And this is kind of that Fed deconstruction from the tech side for the sort of changing of the guard and the shifting of the system, because the Fed will more or less have no control or involvement whatsoever with a corporate stable coin like this, and it's just a matter of time. I mean, you have Elon Musk saying that this is going to happen in the next 5 years, that there will be so many robots and such good AI that there will be no jobs and we'll all get high income. And where will this high income come from? Not the government. It'll be given to you by Coinbase, and you don't have to do anything about it. You can spend it however you want. You just have it controlled and tracked and everything. Because that's how the devil makes his deals. He doesn't make a deal that's it always seems to.
It's never one-sided and for the good. There's always
free money,
a furthering of the agenda of something bad. So it's just the nature of the world.
Notice how the implicate, not even the implication, the explicit rules of engagement for this Coinbase pilot is that there are no rules. You can do whatever you want with it. You can.
I know that's why it's the greatest surveillance tool. It's truly like, hey, do whatever you want. We're just watching every
we just want to see what you do. There's no rules, and that's a problem with tax-funded UBI or government systems. Is generally you have to have some rules. SNAP benefits is like this. You can buy this, you can't buy this. You can buy at this stores, but not at this stores. It's the government, so we have this is public tax money. So there's these rules. There's blah blah blah. Given a choice between all the rules of tax, funded, whatever money giveaway programs versus a corporate one that has no rules and it's way more free money well, we know how people act when there's no rules. They'll do whatever they want, including, as they noted in the article, you can speculate. You can buy other cryptocurrencies. You can gamble it if you want. No rules, baby. Just right. Do whatever you want. So it's very interesting. I think the tie-in with the whole debt refinance structure, the globalized economy transformation that we're going through right now, Genius Act, Clarity Act, World Liberty Financial, the Federal Reserve, all of it combined with the strange shift in the relationship between Trump and Mamdani. Trump needed a communist as mayor of New York. It's the only way that this would make any sense. It was a great deal for Mamdani. He gets these like socialist points for making something cool happen in New York. Trump and the other techno-feudalists get to implement their, beast system.
They get to roll it out.
right?
Roll out the whole thing.
And no taxpayer money involved. So nobody really can even complain about it.
What these people, so there's no organization with the people who receive this. They need to organize and just change it all into gold backs. I think that might be the move. But one of the things that the Bloomberg article mentions here, it says the program, and this is just the same article, but it's the original source document from Coinbase or Coindesk. The program, dubbed Future First, is launching at a critical moment for the guaranteed income movement. Look out for the guaranteed income movement, which has been testing the theory that distributing money directly to people in need without dictating how it's spent is a more efficient and effective way to fight poverty. Problem, reaction. We're in the solution phase, I think, Basil. I think they're rolling out the solution. Recent study results on other programs have had mixed results, with some finding null effects on factors like mental, physical, and financial well-being. Yeah, 12K is not enough necessarily. And others showing significant benefits, such as lower preterm birth rates and food security or food insecurity. So what is it? They're able to get help if they're pregnant? Is that what this is? Is that what they're
the idea
suggesting?
is that better nutrition, more money means better nutrition, means better natal outcomes, food insecurity being a part of that as well, of course.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, the funny thing is that that's why there are no rules, because some people are going to use it to whatever, put a down payment, not a down payment on a house, but what do they call it? Deposits on an apartment, so people will become housed. Some people will gamble it in the crypto market. Some people will use it maybe to go to school. Some people will probably just blow it all. Like it's that's part of the pilot program. And some people, the hope would be that it would make some sort of difference at its best, which obviously this is a piece of propaganda, but at its best, we can hope what the propaganda promises here is that people will have more babies. They won't feel so hopeless when it comes to stuff like that.
Is that the anti-eugenics?
That's the Elon side of it.
The Elon side, yeah. It's interesting how you can see all the ideologies cross paths here with Trump, Mamdani, Elon, Sam Altman. It's like it's all sort of converging.
Pro-natalist, they're having all their pro-baby making, conferences and stuff like this, which is all wrapped up, like you say, in eugenics, in designer babies, in DNA.
Designer babies becoming a bigger conversation now.
Now somebody will have the money to get some genetic modification on the baby.
I think this is part of it too, is that now they can start rolling out this, highly surveilled stablecoin situation. And of course, the kinds of products that can be offered using the new fancy rails can all be of that ilk, DNA with designer babies, the first Bitcoin or crypto accepted or USDC accepted genetic modification, CRISPR laboratory, whatever. Like these things the shine will eventually, not be there anymore when it comes.
Well, and it'll get these people hooked is the thing.
Yeah, right. You need it shiny to get them hooked, and then they're in for life. And it's a pharma move too. You can tell the whole transhuman side of things. People are sick, the curing of cancer. Because think about how much knowledge and the Coinbase AI will be trained with the behavior data from tracking every dollar here, all the $2 million of this pilot program. And then as they roll it out, more people get it. You get a bigger database for the AI to work from, a bigger neural network, whatever. And it's able to make decisions on what kind of products they'll buy into the best or whatever. But it'll be coded. It'll be sugar coated as like helping them, right? Figuring out what their problems are and then creating a product that will solve those problems.
They'll make the $12,000, and it comes in a couple different forms.
Yeah.
It's a great way. Midterms are next year, so Trump needs all of the techno-feudalists need a good economy. So there's some bribing of votes a little bit there. There's artificially propping up the economy, which has already been happening for a very long time, but it's a new and exciting way to prop up the economy, which is an essential part for anybody trying to get elected in the midterms. So it's all happening at once. And yeah, you start with getting 160 people hooked. You find ways. I mean, Coinbase is going to make money on this somehow. And who knows? They might be making something like $12,000 a person.
At least,
I don't know exactly what it is, but it's going to be making money from Coinbase, or at the very least, it's going to be making Coinbase and these types of programs such an essential part of the economy. And that's what it means to get hooked. That's why our economy is in such big trouble right now, with all the government spending. Government spending, government employment is all included in the economic numbers. This is how the government can basically improve GDP at any moment of any day they want, because government spending is counted in GDP. So if the government wants a good GDP, they just buy a bunch of ships or planes or whatever, and that counts as good economic numbers. That's how right now we can have such good economic numbers and life still be so difficult and prices still so high and people so pessimistic, even though graph go up. And this is another example of how graph will go up. And once these programs, once people are hooked, and once governments are hooked, that would make Coinbase and other companies who do this sort of thing an essential part of the fabric of American society, which will guarantee their endless prosperity until the end of time, till Jesus comes back.
Basil, the original story here from Bloomberg was published on October 1st. Hindsight is 2020. I'm glad you're bringing this now, because the government shutdown started that day. So you don't think it's coordinated that Bloomberg, Coinbase, they had this program probably going before then, and then you have this opportunity to publish a story that is, impactful if you are a struggling American, which is most Americans, especially New Yorkers, maybe. And it I don't know, it sprinkles a little bit of new shiny crypto rails, and something new, something fresh in light of the struggling current system.
That's exactly it. They get rid of, you don't need the government, because nation states are out, network states are in. And the irony is, there's this sort of ideological battle with something like, Ayn Rand and libertarianism, and corporations should do whatever they want, and freedom, free market, etc. And the opposite of that, which is communism and socialism. And this is exactly both of those things. It is exactly Ayn Rand, billionaire run corporate state, and the parts that people like about communism, the things that they want about communism, wrapped up into one event. And that's where the deception has always been, the false dichotomy, the counterfeit to options that inevitably lead to the same solution. This problem reaction solution, like you mentioned earlier. This is the left right paradigm. This is the blah blah blah. It's everything wrapped up into one, and it's very clever to watch. And I think a lot of people are missing out on it, Gons, and it's the transhuman future we deserve.
It is. Thank you for the setup. I also want to mention this is very much what I'm starting to recognize as well. The same year Age of Deceit, the first one came out, 2011. There was a third installment of a movie called Zeitgeist. It was Zeitgeist, the third one, Moving Forward. Did you ever see this one, Basil?
I don't think I followed up on the Zeitgeists.
Because most people are familiar with the Zeitgeist film, the first one in 2007, which was 2/3 fantastic, 1/3 abomination, right? Because it talked about the Federal Reserve, and it was like one of the first movies a lot of people woke up to the fact that, oh my goodness, there's this corruption going on with the economy and the monetary system and fiat and the problem with all that, because there was a whole section on the economy. And then they talked about Jesus not being who he was, right? It was completely unacademic. It was pretty much trash. It was ripped apart by people on the internet, Christians on the internet. Maybe if you're like a normal Christian, you don't know that whole thing. But yeah, on the internet, absolutely destroyed theory. But Peter Joseph, the producer, he made a second installment of Zeitgeist, and then he made a third one. In the third movie, he actually argues for this new modern economic system that is scientifically managed, resource-based, and it's this idea of post-scarcity where it's everyone has everything you need, all the money, all the basics you would need for society. You know, we're going to have that, and so we get to explore the arts and we get to explore creativity to a new level and blah 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 blah. Very utopian view. And I think I remembered that, man, that film did plant all the seeds for this now. And it might not be as popular, but it definitely maybe even funded by the tech bros in Silicon Valley at that point. You know, they like some of the stuff that Peter Joseph was saying in part one there. And so they knew where things were going, maybe help out a guy with a theory, because he promoted a concept that was called the Venus Project by Jack Fresco, which again is a resource-based thing. And they even had I think Peter Joseph had a diagram where in the center it's like a concentric ring of cities, a network state basically, where you have the center factory basically run by very few humans. They produce all the goods, they farm, they make the food, they make the clothes, they do everything. And then as the rings go out, there's people live more rurally, and the resources from that station gets distributed evenly, and everybody has everything they need to live. And then we thrive, Basil. We thrive to a new era of the golden age. And maybe that's what they're thinking. The tech bros and Trump and all these guys. And they think they're pulling it off, apparently.
Yeah.
But okay, let's move on here. Let's talk about the beast system here.
Speaking of the beast system, beast system.
And transhumanism, which, if you remember, Jared Kushner.
My generation is, hopefully with the advances in science, the first generation to live forever, or the last generation that's going to die.
That's right. They believe in something cosmic right now, which is very interesting as a Bible-believing Christian. Futurism.com here. Man loses password to chip embedded inside his body.
Oh, no.
I realize I'm getting old because I read that headline and I thought, man, back in the day, this would be satire.
Yeah.
This is not satire anymore.
Oh, it was for sure a joke we made many years ago. What happens if you lose the password?
What happens if you lose the password?
Oh my gosh.
Exactly. A magician in Missouri.
Of course.
A magician in Missouri had a kooky idea. Implant a computer chip into his hand and then do some fun magic tricks with it. Too bad he forgot the password. It sounds like a short story cooked up by Kurt Vonnegut, but it really happened to Zhi-Teng Wang, a magician and molecular biologist in Missouri.
Sounds like interesting fellow.
Is this satire? This has to be satire. Anyway, who posted about his predicament in his Facebook account this month, complete with an X-ray picture of his hand showing the white outline of the offending microchip embedded in the meat between his thumb and index finger. Quote, "I'm living my own cyberpunk dystopia life right now, locked out of technology inside my body, and it's my own darn fault," wrote Wang, who goes by the stage name Z the Mentalist. On first glance, it's a pretty funny anecdote, but as companies like billionaire Elon Musk's Neuralink push brain chips to the public, Wang's personal tale serves as a cautionary tale for the risks of having any technology, whether private and public, embedded into your body. Companies may go out of business, product lines discontinued, or in the case of Wang, you forgot the bloody password. The bloody password. Wang explained in the Facebook post that he had a RFID chip inserted into his hand ages ago. Is he a time traveler? How long ago is age? How long has he had this chip in his hand?
Oh, we've been tracking these guys for at least a decade, Gons. This isn't new.
But you start talking ages. I mean, okay, all right. For fun magic tricks, but it required someone, such as an audience member, to press their smartphone with a RFID reader to Wang's hand to activate whatever trick he deployed. That's a buzzkill. Quote, but it turns out that pressing someone else's phone to my hand repeatedly, trying to figure out where their phone RFID reader is, really doesn't come off super mysterious and magical and amazing, he wrote. And often people have that reader disabled too, while using my own phone for the scan also lacks oomph for obvious reasons. Moving away from using the gadget as a magic prop, he later tinkered around with the chip by rewriting it with a Bitcoin address and then had it link to an image meme on Imgur. I don't know how to say that. I've seen it. I don't know how to.
It's Imgur is how I've
Imgur.
heard it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's
The
just
online image sharing
old
platform.
school, old
Yeah, it's
school
old school, yeah.
GIF platform.
Right. It's weird how stuff like that exists, but I've never heard it spoken out loud. Quote, but a few years ago, that Imgur link went down, and when I went to rewrite the chip, I was horrified to realize I forgot the password that I had locked it with, he said. The denouement of the story, tech friends, denouement? Mont?
Yeah.
Weird.
Like
Tech,
climate.
is that a French word?
Yeah.
That's French. Tech friends told him the only way to unlock the chip is to literally, quote, strap on an RFID reader for days to weeks to his palm and, quote, brute force every possible combination so the chip remains in his hand, lost password and all. Quote, at least the Imgur link started working again, Wang wrote, but I'm still locked out of my own body's tech, and that's inconvenient but hilarious. Has he ever considered taking the chip out? Is that not an option here? Is this like, is he one with the chip?
I'll die.
What is his deal, dude? Just take the chip out. What's the problem? This isn't the first time this has happened.
Nerves.
Okay, we didn't. I don't think we need to. Do you want to hear about other people that had this problem? Apparently, it's a.
I don't know.
A
It's your
disease.
story. I think it's. I mean, I think it's interesting more in its broad implications here, because of course that was going to be the thing. I mean, and it's interesting. There's a huge battle on passwords right now. There's billions of dollars being spent by the big tech platforms and even smaller tech platforms to try to get rid of the password altogether. Like the fact. It's seen by a lot of people in tech, the fact that we even use passwords is a technology that's just ancient now. Passwords have been around since the beginning of the internet, and the internet's come a long way. The tech is all over the place. We're living in a crazy transhuman, dystopian future. And the fact that passwords are even still used at all is offensive to many, tech people. And so there's all these attempts to try to get rid of the need for a password. That's why you have things like, password managers now. You have, what do they call it? What do they call it? There's something that Apple does now. It's like your key or something, where basically all your passwords are held in one 4-digit code to try to get rid of that. And that's where, more broadly speaking, biometrics is coming into place. This is like it's weird because
the solution.
They are truly offended by the idea of having passwords. So they'll think of every possible thing to get rid of the need for passwords, including things like scan your eyeball or have your blockchain address hooked to a chip in your hand. You shouldn't. So whatever device you're holding knows it's you. This is very much wrapped up in digital ID as well. I mean, of course, the chip thing is fun for us, for Christians, because mark of the beast, of course, chips have been a huge conversation in that. But you spend enough time exploring the possibilities of what the mark of the beast is, and biomarkers, biometrics, these types of things, and it turns out there's some much more exciting ways that they're looking to get rid of passwords.
Yeah, and of course, the mark of the beast conversation is always in front of us as we address the unfolding of these types of things.
You've got to start taking these excellent segues that I'm giving you and just running with that. It's just like the third one this time.
I have more to say about.
Down.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So this speaks to your point, Basil, some patterns I've been noticing over the years, and this is several years now. This first one comes from earlier this year, 2025. I believe it was May when it was published. May 16th, 2025, from Phys.org. Synthetic molecules encode and decode 11-character password using electrical signals. Molecules like DNA are capable of storing large amounts of data without requiring an energy source, but accessing this molecular data is expensive and time-consuming. Researchers have developed an alternative method to encode information in synthetic molecules, which they used to encode and then decode an 11-character password to unlock a computer. So, in essence, they're starting to. This is a way to store a password in your DNA.
Yeah,
and this
the
is starting
ultimate
to
biometrics.
the ultimate biometric. And this goes back years. November 2019, Springer link. Springer.com. A novel DNA-based password authentication system for global roaming in resource-limited mobile environments. Okay. All right. That's good. And then 2018, nextgov.com. Cryptocurrency passwords can now be stored in DNA. So they've had this we're going close to a decade to perfect the technology. Now we have the cultural and social situations to really roll out the technology. COVID helped speed things up a little bit. Maybe they were looking at the 2020s. They were looking at the end of the 2010s. They're like, guys, we're not going to make it by 2030 if we got to do something. And they're like, well, let's roll out COVID. And there you go. You can disrupt everything. And then on the other side of it, much easier to roll out the technocratic dystopic situation with, even our beloved Trump in there with socialists and shaking hands and talking about how everything's going to be all right in the golden age. So the golden technological takeover of AI demon spirit age. So there you go. There's a lot of resources there. Look into some of the stuff here because it does seem kind of wild. And even back then, mentioning stuff like this was probably a little crazy. But nowadays it's just, public information. It's all there. And so unless someone's already done it on TikTok and they're totally stoked about it.
Yeah, they probably are.
Yeah.
All right, let's get a little update on what's going on in Venezuela.
Aha.
World War III. We can fight the Third World War down there.
This is very interesting. There has been just an enormous. We thought it was intense when we covered it last week. It just continues to grow. I'm going to bring the Fox News story here because we're going to get some sort of unvarnished, pure narrative. This is the narrative getting crafted.
We're in 5th generation warfare. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but I don't want to bother with all the but Trump's a bad guy, so blah, blah, blah. Let's just take for a moment just the pure propaganda, just the pure unfiltered narrative here, and we can get an update. This is coming from Fox News. Trump gave Maduro ultimatum. Maduro's the president of Venezuela, of course. Trump gave Maduro ultimatum to flee Venezuela as land operations loom. It's a report. Let's see here. President Donald Trump delivered a stern ultimatum to Nicolas Maduro to leave Venezuela immediately before announcing the country's airspace should be closed, according to a report. Per the Miami Herald, Washington's warning was delivered in a phone call with Caracas and offered guaranteed evacuation for Maduro, his wife Cecilia Flores, and their son, but only if the dictator agreed to resign on the spot. The conversation stalled, U.S. officials says, within hours, Washington escalated dramatically. The ensuing impasse, a source told the outlet, was over Maduro asking for a global amnesty for any crimes he and his group had committed, and that was rejected. Quote, second, they asked to retain control of the armed forces, similar to what happened in Nicaragua in 91 with Violeta Chamorro. In return, they would allow free elections. The final issue was timing, according to the outlet, as Washington demanded that Maduro resign immediately, but Caracas refused. Trump went on to announce Saturday that Venezuelan airspace would be considered closed in its entirety. The Herald also reported that the Maduro government tried to schedule another call with Washington, but received no response. Dun, dun, dun. According to a defense expert familiar with the country's military and state-linked cartel ties, Maduro and key players in his regime can now face their most serious threat yet. Quote, I think the operations will start imminently. Former Venezuelan diplomat Vanessa Newman told Fox News Digital, quote, the clearing of the airspace is an indication and a very clear public warning that missiles might be coming to take out command and control infrastructure or retaliatory infrastructure, Newman said. Quote, this will not be like breaking a jar into 1,000 pieces. This is where you can lift the concentration of power and it's easier to manage. The targets have been identified through covert operations over the last several years by people on the ground, she continued, so they're well mapped. This is a capture or kill scenario, but there's a limit to how many people you can remove quickly. On Sunday, Trump told reporters aboard Air Force One not to read anything into his declaring Venezuela's airspace closed when asked if a strike was imminent. Don't read into it.
Don't read into it.
Just
Wow.
threatening to topple the government and giving Maduro a chance to surrender and closing airspace, which is exactly what we do when we're about to invade a country, whether it be Afghanistan or Iran or whatever. But don't read into it, okay? It could be nothing. Maduro that's the
tactic. That is the tactic nowadays, by the way. The modern troll is to just, dismiss the biggest thing ever as nothing.
Yeah,
I mean, for Trump to say this, he actually is saying, "Yeah, this is kind of a big deal, guys." And don't read into it. Meaning, this is huge.
And part of that was we didn't bring. It was kind of an extraneous article, but Jam sent it to us. 11 U.S. warships and 15,000 troops now in Caribbean as Venezuela tensions escalate. This was posted yesterday over at New York Post, and it goes through the extremely long list of strike groups, of ships, the U.S. Gerald Ford, of guided missile destroyers, of aircraft carriers, of the Marines who are stationed, 2,200 Marines in base Lejeune Marine Corps Air Base in New Rivers in North Carolina are also stationed in the Caribbean. So, we followed last week, 2 weeks ago, just kind of what the situation was with U.S. assets moving into place. It's now basically quadrupled from when we talked about it last. Wow. So if we didn't think it was a staging for, an invasion before, it's now quadrupled or more. So it's starting to now let's get into the let me jump into a little bit more of the narrative here, because I was just talking with somebody last night, just regular kind of default liberal Democrat guy, doesn't really pay attention, but just the regular guy. And we were just talking, and he goes, yeah, I don't know, I don't really like all these fishing boats that Trump is blowing up, though. It's obvious he just kind of saw a post or something of an angry
boat, huh?
Yeah, angry
what kind
liberal
of fish?
lady.
Is that slang? Is that liberal slang for I don't know, drugs?
Yeah, right. I'm like, well, I mean, some of them at least are drug boats. He didn't even hear any any of them were even drug boats. Like, that's how little he even looked into it.
He's in the alternative universe, siloed algo world.
Like, he hadn't even heard the official narrative about it. He only heard that Trump was blowing up fishing boats, like, indiscriminately.
I love that you're in this circle of people in your real life that are there. Because I don't know that a lot of maybe our listeners do run into that, but
I think more
interesting to hear. We need it. We need to be interactive.
More people are in that situation than maybe we know. It's easy for us to kind of assume that everybody else is like everyone around them, is kind of in the same zone. But the truth is, even if you have like whatever Republican friends, they probably don't know a third of like what's actually going on if you're not listening to this show, for example. Yeah, so she's like, I don't like that he's blowing up all these fishing boats. I'm like, well, okay. But here is the listen to this. Ahead of shuttering the airspace, the U.S. also officially designated the cartel allegedly linked with Venezuela's government, the Cartel de los Soles, as a foreign terrorist organization. Quote, the cartel turned Venezuela's main oil company into a narcotics trafficking, money laundering operation, using the company's access to international finance until it was sanctioned. Newman, who has worked with the governments on countering transnational organized crime linked to the group, explained. They were using Venezuelan military jets to bring in cocaine from Colombia, process it in Venezuela, then move it into Central America and then into Europe. So, we had kind of heard, Maduro's linked with the cartels, he's helping the cartels. But the story being told by Newman, this is the narrative, okay? We're not saying that this is 100% true, but whether it's true or not doesn't even really matter. Although I wouldn't be surprised if it is true, but this is the narrative. This is what we're dealing with when it comes to basically a full-on invasion of Venezuela. This is the storyline. So, military jets being involved in the trafficking of the drugs. And this is what I thought was funny, because that sounds like, oh, wow, military jets trafficking drugs, until you realize, what's probably happening here is the CIA sees the government as Venezuela as competition for our military jets trafficking drugs, and our intelligence agencies, they're getting in the way, man. They're undercutting the competition. Quote, jet pilots were making a lot of money off that, and they've tortured people. They target people. Anybody who tell on them, they're disappeared, Newman said. They're now one of the prime drug trafficking networks in the United States and Europe, and use their military positions, including their military-to-military relations, to grow and accelerate those movements. In fact, in September, the European Parliament also voted in favor of the EU designating Cartel de los Soles as a terrorist organization. Quote, the Cartel de los Soles is also a key collaborator and financier of Hezbollah, and some of the drug money has been used to fund terrorist attacks that have killed American citizens. Yeah, our CIA also finances terrorist organizations, but okay.
Seems to be a pattern here.
It seems to be a pattern, right? The U.S. has also ramped up military and intelligence campaign targeting, drug trafficking networks. Okay, so this is kind of where we're at. We've got 2 weeks ago, when we had, 3 aircraft carriers and, 1,500 Marines, that was the biggest positioning and deployment of assets since World War II, or at least since Iraq, but since World War II, according to some reports. And now we've quadrupled that. And so a very intense sort of show of power. But Gans, I will reflect upon what Trump said to those reporters on the plane. Don't look too much into it, okay? Don't read into it. Don't think about it too much, okay? We're just trying to make a deal. Now, other reports have stated, whether this is confirmed or not, I'm not 100% sure, but other reports have stated that Maduro has now fled to Brazil, meaning the president is so concerned, the president of Venezuela, we're so concerned and is now taking things so seriously that he himself has fled to Brazil to hide from, missiles or Navy SEALs or something. So seems like we might be right on the edge of some very serious action going on in Venezuela, guys.
It's almost as if building a bridge back to the story we just did on all the crypto stuff and new economic rails. It's like they're cleaning up the old way because now they got a new way, and it's like, all right, everybody, we're starting the new way, but it's a lot of political points you can win if you can make it look like you're defeating the old system. Don't just tear it down. Don't make it a natural transition. Don't make it a baton that gets handed off per se. Use it politically. It's a great way to quote unquote end one kind of corruption and spin up another one. So that's kind of what this feels like. But it is a big deal because obviously the potential kinetic confrontation with some of it on top of the other aspects geopolitically. So we'll keep an eye. I hope just no one gets hurt. I don't want anybody to get hurt. That's my biggest thing.
There was this report, ABC17news.com, Trump to hold Venezuela Oval Office meeting amid growing questions about his military moves. President Donald will hold a meeting at the White House on Monday evening about next steps on Venezuela. Sources familiar with the matter told CNN as the administration intensifies its pressure campaign, et cetera, et cetera. So tonight at 5 p.m. Eastern time would be that's now. That's right now. Right now, or like a half hour ago or something. Let's see.
Well, it's Trump, so he might be fashionably late. He might be on stage right now. Let's check.
Venezuela, White House. Come on, baby. Give me the meeting. I want to hear. I hope Mom Donnie's there. I want Mom Donnie there to defend the socialist commie government. Not a single plane flying over Venezuela, a country of 30 million people with the world's largest oil reserves. Okay, looks like the 1 hour ago, White House drops bombshell on that's something else.
Don't you love the timeline? It's just
I know. Come on, give me the meeting.
A crazy
probably just the White House X account. Let's try this.
Well, that might work. Yeah,
give us a meeting. Tell me.
White House.
1
Did you
minute
say
ago.
Donald Trump? Did you say something about this recently?
Let's see.
Donald
Come
Trump's
on.
account.
Give me the meeting. 42 minutes ago. Donald Trump standing next to a Christmas tree.
He hasn't posted in a while. Okay. Trump still wants Thanksgiving break.
I'm not seeing at least a stream of this here. Maybe, well, if it happened right now, if it happened a half hour ago, somebody, White House.
Just signed a Medal of Honor. That happened.
Office meeting. Venezuela.
Yeah.
Nope, just Trump to hold. Trump to hold. Okay. Well, can't find
Trump MRI. Okay. Good. I'm glad that they're telling us about all the important things here. Maybe
well, we'll find out what it is apparently on Wednesday. Unless it pops up. We'll see. I'll keep this timeline up while we do some other stuff.
Yeah, there's been some reporting in the last couple days, but yeah, we'll see if there's anything that pops up.
I know. I want to live. I want to tune in live, baby.
Here we go. There's a Fox article. Venezuela White House meeting kicks off Trump's high stakes week as cabinet huddle looms. Okay. Yes. They're preparing to hold a meeting. Yes. This is the exact same article we just read. There's nothing new in this article.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's obviously not happened yet, or they just haven't aired it or something.
Us peons will find out later. We're just not going to worry about it until then.
What we should be worried about, Gons, is the Christian music industry. That's what really is holding everything together. This is coming from do you have anything to add to the Venezuela? I don't really know. I wish that they gave us what they told us they were going to give us. We need that meeting, bro.
You want to destroy humans?
Okay, I will destroy humans.
A lot of attention recently on various AI artists, AI singers, sort of being integrated into the official music industry, which, of course, we've watched happen very, very slowly, and it happened sort of as a novelty during COVID. We saw AI influencers. Recently, we saw the AI actresses getting, starting to show up at industry events and gain lots of interest. Recently, there's been kind of a controversy when it comes to Spotify platforming AI bands or something, and they get better and better. By the way, is it Suno that does the music?
I don't know.
I think it's Suno is the AI that you get that most, it's like the best music creation.
Oh, I have not
AI
dabbled enough to know.
Yeah, that's the one I think that is most popular for AI music. And they recently announced that in a month or so, you're not going to be able to download your music. You need a paid account in order to download anything that you make on their platform. And it turns out in the background that they are sort of integrating and doing deals, again, because of all the courts lawsuits and stuff about the training data being used to make music without any, well, long story short, money for the record industry. It sounds like they're finding ways now to actually detect the training that goes into any individual AI song, and they're going to be paying out the record labels for stealing their whatever guitar riff or something. But this is not that. AI Christian singer Solomon Ray tops the charts, stirs ethical debates. Ooh, Solomon Ray. Have you heard of Solomon Ray?
No, is this like Sugar Ray but Solomon?
There's a link. There's a link to Solomon Ray Soul, the Instagram account of this AI singer. Is a black man who dresses like a hipster.
There he is, yeah. Okay.
There's some beautiful AI artwork of him sitting with his family by a Christmas tree, eating an enormous spread of food. You would look at this account and it just looks exactly like any account, any influencer account, any music account. It's kind of got a mix of like professionally, I guess in this case, it's not actual photographs, but sort of photo shoot type of things, and more raw, kind of taken with a cell phone, selfie
like
kind of stuff.
Fan vids or something.
Just by looking at this, you wouldn't notice it. But it is interesting. Solomon Ray Soul says musician, AI voice, Mississippi soul. Nothing like an AI voice to really give you that Mississippi soul, Guns. Solomon Ray became the top artist on the iTunes Top 100 Christian and Gospel Albums chart last week. But there's something that may bother you about the Christian artist. He is not human. According to Christianity Today, Ray was entirely created by artificial intelligence that includes his voice, performance style, lyrics, and persona. His most recent album is called A Soulful Christmas, and it features tracks with titles like Soul to the World and Jingle Bell Soul. The irony is, it's
too much. It's too much. It's crazy, man.
Plus, it's AI blackface. He's a black man.
Oh my god!
I was just reading. I didn't bring it to the show, but I was just reading a piece. I think it was the Atlantic that was talking about digital blackface and how these AI accounts specifically creating, black people and creating content using somebody, a fake black person.
Yeah, this is a very racist.
It's minstrelsy. Minstrelsy, I say.
This is how the reparations get paid back, though. I bet you
all the money
they would not complain if there was a check coming in the mail. This is their UBI. Okay, so continue.
So it's actually kind of a bit of a pitiful article, but let me give you a piece of it here. Solomon Ray is not unique. AI-generated music is the new frontier in the entertainment world. The artists, industry insiders, and consumers trying to adapt. Talks about Zanya Monet, different AI artists. Let's see. Spotify announcing protections against impersonation of artists and deceptive content. Let's see here. AI at its best. Okay, that doesn't look like they got to the conversation because here we go. Christian singer Forrest Frank addressed the ethical pitfalls of AI in social media where he warned consumers, quote, at minimum, AI does not have the Holy Spirit inside of it, Frank said. So I think that it's really weird to be opening up your spirit to something that has no spirit. Well, it sings about the soul, okay? Didn't say anything
It's not
the
singing about
spirit.
its soul. It's singing about our souls that it probably wants to consume.
So it's interesting, and this Frank fella kind of touches on it, but The Hill doesn't give much conversation to it. Why would they? They're not an independently produced podcast who's been talking about it for over a decade and doesn't take any commercial money and is entirely supported by people who get value from it. So why would they have the tough conversation of, look, besides the AI music, besides the AI blackface, now we have an AI pretending to be Christian. This is a Christian AI artist. So why do people partake in Christian music? Well, because the assumption is that there is some not just understanding, but that the Christian artist has a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. That's why we support other Christians. That's why we listen to other Christians. That's why we enjoy Christians' work, whatever that work may be, because we know that the person doing it, in this case singing, has a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. And with that, not just are they a Christian, but with that is the implicit knowledge, as we are Christians as well, we understand that the Christian life is a long process. You know, when somebody's a Christian, it's not just, oh, they believe the same thing as me. For me, it's, oh, they've gone through the ups and downs, the bad things in their life. They pray and they find strength, and Jesus is with them and carrying them, and through all their ups and downs of life, who knows, they're, you know, maybe they were a drug addict, and maybe they were this or they're that, and
Basil, wait a minute.
Hold on. We can identify with the long struggle that is being a Christian, and that's what gives this value and this brotherly or sisterly relationship with Christian artists, and not just a robot that literally the entirety of its Christianness is a keyword in a prompt that created whatever it is we're looking at. I mean, I think this goes quite deep, Gons.
Basil, you do not understand the AI. The AI has seen all of our struggles. It has seen our challenges. It has experienced alongside of us our pain and our depths and our deepest questions. So to say that it has not, I mean, maybe it has not experienced it fully, but it has at least observed all of our hardships. And so, you know, when it formulates a song, it knows exactly what to say to stir our soul.
Yeah, well, that's the irony. The fact the blackface thing, I'll keep bringing it up.
You keep hammering.
I'm only bringing it up because it's like such a big conversation.
Because of my own white guilt, and
I just love throwing it. This is a huge conversation. So the fact that they did make it a black person is important, because on top of that, they had its soul music. His name,
I know.
It's Solomon Ray Soul. It's like, and 3 songs at least. I haven't gone through the discography. I'm assuming more of the songs.
Every song has a soul, right?
Soul in it, right?
Yeah.
And on top of that, it's sort of predating. It's sort of a mechanical predator on the Christian charts, where the Christian, you know, for the most part, and hear me right when I say this, as someone who has grown up in the church and been through the ups and downs of the mainstream Christian, music industry, okay, we all understand what I'm saying when I say this. Most people, usually, until recent years, you don't necessarily listen to Christian music because it's better than other music.
How dare have you listened to Forrest Frank? The boy can sing.
There
he
is
can
great
write some
Christian
songs.
music. The Christian music industry has come a long way in recent years.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's gotten really good.
It's gotten better. Yeah.
But historically, much like Christian movies, you know, Christian music, it's not necessarily gaining our attention because it's better than all other music. But in this case, so the Christian charts, you know, are very much predicated, again, on the Christian part of it.
That is
and
the branding. It's the front-facing brand.
Yeah, but it's support. Like Christians supporting other Christians is kind of the point. Like that's a big part of being a Christian in a Christian community.
You're talking about the musicians. You're not talking about the AI. You're talking about the music, the
Yeah, I'm
traditional
just talking
worship
about it in
music.
general.
being
Yeah,
used.
yeah. You know,
okay.
we listen to other Christian. Again, it's much better now, but back in the day, you know, it was different. Much like Christian movies, that much better now. Used to not be great. Notoriously, kind of, you know, you support it because it's Christian, and you want to support the Christian message. You want to support other Christians so they can get better and continue to do it. That's a huge part of it. And so the Christian, you know, sort of charts are a reflection of the support of Christians for other Christians. So to have it topped out by a fake black man soul singer Christian, the irony is so deep that it's really hard to even articulate in its I don't know, in its fullness. Who was it?
Find
somebody mentioned here. Yeah, Caleb mentioned this is similar to the AI Michael Heiser, except it sings and is based on a made-up character. Yeah, we talked about the AI tool that is based on Michael Heiser's work. That what's that company? Logos that Logos put out. I meant to look into it and use it because, you know, on one hand, the Michael Heiser thing is interesting because on one hand, I hope that it's supporting his family, that it's kind of part of his legacy, you know, to care for his family after his passing. And that's my hope. And I don't know for sure if that's the case. So on one hand, I'm not like, I don't know, I'm not down on it for no reason. But that does beg the question, yeah, is it like impersonating Heiser? Is it speaking as Heiser, or is it just trained on Heiser's work? These are all questions that I have not yet answered for myself. However, Solomon Ray Soul, pretending to be a Christian black man with Mississippi soul, with a, you know, with an experience being in relationship with the creator of the universe, it's kind of a weird vibe. AI absurdism is something that Comfort 2696 just texted, and I like it. This is pure AI absurdism.
You know who's really upset about this is the artist, rapper known as Solomon Ray, who's an American recording artist, producer, DJ, singer, and songwriter. He's a pop recording artist. Genres of reggaeton, Latin pop, indie pop, electro pop, and hip hop. He's been active since 2008. He's got some songs.
Has he commented on this?
I have no idea.
Well, maybe that's what they're basing this on.
He was featured
of Solomon Ray.
I haven't seen one. His websites, all of his websites don't work, at least on the links here. It looks like he was featured on Eminem's Sirius Satellite Radio Shade 45.
Well, maybe they based it off of him.
Maybe.
It's hard to search because you search Solomon Ray. Oh, nope, there's Solomon Ray. Nope, not a black man.
Well, yeah, there's another Solomon Ray that I found, on Apple Music or whatever. I don't know if that's the same one as this guy. But anyway, I did find the actual Solomon Ray Soul, the Faithful Soul EP, Goodbye Temptation, Find Your Rest, Jesus and My Coffee, I Got Faith, and Do It With Soul. So what were the other? I guess the Christmas special is the other one that. Here we go. He's got some other. These pictures are very AI, by the way. I mean, I guess if you don't use AI, you may not know, but yeah, you can kind of tell. But would you like to hear any of it? So there's a preview button.
I was wondering. I don't.
Do we get copyright? Who are we paying?
Probably going to give us a copyright strike.
Well, we get it all the time though. They just tell us they can't. We can't monetize, which we can't monetize anyway. True. So. I guess
and it's not like we're showing up in anybody's algorithms, anyways.
That's true. You're right. You press us down. We're gonna play everything. All right, let's. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay. A whole bunch of stuff popped up. Here we go. Let's continue the preview.
Freedom, yeah, body and soul. So say goodbye to temptation.
longer have control. Yeah, I'm dead to all my sin, and now alive in Christ alone.
I mean, it
It's
slaps.
not bad. It's not
It's
bad.
got soul.
It's not bad.
It's got soul, I'll tell you that.
Well, that's the part that I don't think people are considering as well, is if churches start playing it, if enough churches start playing it, then it'll just become another worship song. And at that point, is it okay?
Yeah.
It was made by
know.
AI, but
It's
it is
so
people
bizarre.
performing it in your church.
We've been talking about this for over a decade, and I'm still not sure exactly what to
Oh,
do
I know.
about it. There's
I know.
no
This is
way that this is this is for sure going to be in music worship sets around the world, probably.
the songs are too good. They're too good not to play, and too fun. We'll see how that affects the church. Man, it's just kind of crazy. If for now, I don't think, and I say this with a little bit of bias, I don't think that the traditional worship leader is out of a job entirely. Maybe they can do it without a whole band now. I mean, they can already do that with tracks and stuff. But I don't know. Over time, are just churches just going to have an AI? Maybe it turns into the DJ type thing where there's a guy just press a button. Press a
Yeah.
couple buttons and you get your whole worship set. And depending on your denomination, you got people rolling around on the ground, or they got their hands up, or whatever style of worship it happens to be. I don't know. I don't know what to think about it either. It's just one of these topics where we've been talking about it, and we've never been clear as to well, I mean, we've said that it's coming, so there's that part of it where it's like, okay, it's here. But in terms of, is it ethical? Is it godly? If does every song that you sing have to be something a human made? I'm sure some people will think that way or feel that way, and they will only play music, or write, or not write music, but play music that is made by humans.
Well,
But
and if nothing else, the fact that it'll put actual Christian musicians basically out of a job, because today it's the top number 1 spot on the charts. Tomorrow it might be the top 10 spots on the charts.
Right, all 10, right? Yeah.
And eventually it's just all every person on the chart. And it's interesting because Christians have this very interesting benefit, specifically for musicians and young kids, who want to become musicians. So many of the famous singers, songwriters, musicians, artists, even the secular ones, all got their start because they were playing in worship bands. They would play at church because what Christians have as a community that others don't have is a regular sort of performance schedule
every week.
Every week, and they're practicing during the week, and they have a performance every Sunday. And so even if you're not trying to be, even if it didn't occur to you that you want to be a professional musician someday, you're basically doing the job of a professional musician. And for many people, this starts at like 12 years old. I was in worship bands, right about 12 when I actually learned the bass, and for a 12-year-old to be performing every week, plus the practice that comes along with that is a very special benefit for those who do want to be professional musicians, because a secular kid is not going to have that opportunity. Nobody's going to sit down. You're not going to get 100 people to sit down for a young kid, secular kid, for no reason, just to hear him play music. You got to play bars, you got to play, you got to figure it out. But so Christians have really had this leg up compared to other, I guess, communities for a very long time. And now, so I think it's kind of especially brutal to start having AI artists with songs written by AI and performed by AI being this like very particular threat to, I don't know what to call it. I guess a part of being a Christian, at least in America. I mean, Katy Perry, Britney Spears, all the most famous musicians, like, got started singing in church, no matter what they did with their career. So it's also cutting off a real pipeline for even human artists to even hone their skills or practice or anything.
Well, it might have an I don't know, an opposite effect in a sense where the musicians that play live become better because they got to keep up with the machine. And I've noticed that with drum
performance
a lot
sorry,
better. A lot of the electronic music that's happened in the last couple decades, every beat is perfectly on time, and so drummers have gotten very good at being very on time, and more sophisticated with their drumming and stuff like that. So it could be that opposite effect, but yeah, surely it's for the majority. I think you're right. It robs them of the kind of grind that shaped our generation. Those young kids don't understand the grind.
Yeah, I mean, performance will probably always be a part
It's
of it.
always going to be a thing, yeah.
You know, but as far as writing things like that, it's very difficult.
I would like to know the individual or the team behind Solomon Ray. That's something I haven't noticed with we got a couple articles on this that we just covered, or the Instagram page and stuff, but nobody's mentioning or sourced the origin. Like, is there a group of people doing it? Is it a band? Is it a guy? Is it just a guy in a basement? What's going? That's what I would like to know. Maybe there's a new standard we can set with some of this. It's like, okay, fine, AI music. We're not going to be able to stop it, but can we please remove some level of the anonymity? If it's going to be in the top 100 charts or whatever, can we get or maybe that's not with the spirit of what a lot of the entertainment industry is, which is you don't really have to necessarily get your own personal identification out there. You can do it as sort of a whatever.
Like studio bands, studio bands are kind of that way. Where
right, and I just wonder,
Gorillaz, for example, nobody. knows
you're right.
Gorillaz.
Well, we know that it's a guy from Blur or whatever. But anyway, But that would be an interesting concept too. Is maybe the reason why Solomon Ray's soul is number one is not because some random dude made an AI thing and happened to be catchy or whatever. They had to be in the right network of people, right pipelines to get it up there, right? So that's what makes me think it's somebody that's already somewhat known or something.
It used to be that way, but now you can just kind of throw it up on Spotify. Okay, I found this WLOX.com story, and it does mention here Solomon Ray's creator is a resident of Mississippi, Topher, a digital creator. Is that our Topher? We have a Topher. Is this our Topher?
What if it is? That'd be awesome.
A digital creator. Yeah, if it's our Topher, I take it all back. I fully support it. We would know if it was our Topher, certainly. I don't know, maybe. But believe it or not, Guns, our listeners do things in their lives without telling us a lot of the time. I don't understand it, but they're often not telling us everything they do in their everyday life. Topher, a digital creator and the man behind the machine of Solomon Ray, responded to Frank's critique on Instagram. Okay, here we go.
All right.
Here's Topher's response, quote, "Who am I to say what God will or won't use to get the message his people need to them?" Topher said. "I'm just here to be an instrument. This is an extension of my creativity, so therefore to me, it's art. It's definitely inspired by a Christian." Topher continued. "It may not be performed by one. I don't know why that really matters in the end." Okay, so Topher's just schluffing it off. Not a very convincing back and forth between Topher and Frank.
He is a black man though, so the blackface thing. Maybe he doesn't realize it, or maybe it's okay because he's the black guy.
Are you sure? I see you pulled up a Wikipedia page for Topher. Do we know that is that the
independent American rapper and songwriter and conservative commentator? It's the link from the Solomon Ray thing.
Conservative commentator.
Yeah, that's what it says here.
What is this guy doing? Okay, does he have an X account? This is
Michael, Mississippi. So he's a Mississippi guy. Topher voted Republican in 2016. Frustrated with Facebook, he moved to TikTok. He joined Conservative Hype House Collective in February 2020.
Got more lots of Tophers on X. Does he have a last name or any other identification?
No, he's just Topher. He's apparently.
Does the wiki have his handles?
I'm looking for it. Hold on, let's see. No apologies.
Not Topher Grace. See, I'm just getting Topher Grace.
Topher Townsend. Look for Topher Townsend. Let's see, official website. I love these, little rabbit trails we go down.
We are doing a little bit more live rabbit trails here. It's
over 100 million streams on music platforms. Let's see, about. There he is. Good looking dude there. Here we go. Let's go to the X Twitter account. Here we go.
There's a lot of Topher Townsend.
There you go. There he is. 29,000 followers. Topher Town. He's at Topher on X. He's part of the Blexit student movement.
Blexit Stuffer.
The black exit. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
U.S. Air Force veteran, #1 Billboard artist. Only 29,000 followers. He's just getting his career started.
Yeah, that's interesting. All right. Yeah. Well, I'm not totally convinced by his response to the criticism, but
his exposure on X is not very big. He's posted on November 18th. This screenshot documents the moment Solomon Ray held #1 Christian song and #1 Christian artist or album, Faithful Soul EP, simultaneously on iTunes. The first known instance of an AI artist doing so in any category. And he's got the screenshot there. 2 comments, 4 likes.
Yeah, that's
if that's not an example of how social media silos all of us in different ways.
No,
I mean, that's what a perfect example. This guy's #1 Christian AI artist on the charts, and he's getting 4 likes on his post. So there you go.
Yeah, weird. All right.
Anyone can do. You're right. You're right. It's not a big. Anyone can do it. You're right. You and I. We should just do it. Let's make an AI album.
I mean, apparently it's like the thing. Like that's because what you wonder, why does this matter? Well, it matters because it's not like he had a gigantic following that he told them all to go listen to his music to sort of beef up his numbers to make it to the top on the list. He's not getting the kind of engagement where he could have just told
at least on
his
X.
followers.
He might be on TikTok. He might be getting a little bit more.
X doesn't really count in a way.
X has its own sort of siloed thing going on. But anyway,
I mean, maybe that's the answer. Maybe we just got to start pumping out Christian music and just try to do something. I mean, that's the thing. That is the difference, Guns, between us and other people like us who become more successful, is other people try different things over and over and over. And they'll try different projects, try different, types of industries. They'll just keep they're experimenting. We just do the same thing every day. We have not expanded in our experimentation. Okay. Even at most, we just do a different long form podcast. It's probably time. I think that's the difference between other people on the grind trying to figure something out online and us is they're smart enough to try something else once one thing stalls out. What are we gonna do, Guns? We don't have any choices.
Well, this is it's an opportunity to leverage our wonderful and beautiful producers. Maybe this is
speaking of which, I want to give a shout out to a producer. I'm going to do that now. Let's see. Do I want to use this person? So who is this? This is producer Luke. Okay. This is great because we've talked about this before and lots of people have have mentioned this. Other people have given it a try, things like this. And of course, it's something that we really recommend as well. Lots of people will have a recommendation for us to interview somebody. And they'll say, hey, interview this guy, like reach out to him, or he's really good. Here's his work. I want him to go on the show. And we're like, great, wonderful. And you and I obviously are very bad at doing the behind the scenes work to schedule interviews on a regular basis, Gons. This has been kind of our kryptonite over the past couple of years because it's very difficult. And with our weird schedule, our schedule's already filled up with other shows. We have a very limited schedule to do these interviews. And so on top of that, to contact someone enough times to where they actually see you and respond to your message is a grueling weeks-long process to actually break through actually contacting somebody, which is something drops off. We try, we drop off, we don't hear back, we just keep moving, we got stuff going on. It really takes like being on the ball. And then once you have them, on the hook, or you started a conversation, then to find a time that works for everybody is a total nightmare. Anybody who has done interview podcasts will tell you scheduling is a total nightmare. Okay. It's just the fact of the matter. So when somebody has someone that they want on the show, the best thing they can do is step up as a producer of the show and produce the show. Reach out, get in contact with the person you want, to come on the show. In this case, producer Luke did the best job of this that I think maybe we've ever seen. And not that other producers haven't done a good job of getting people on the show. But one thing producer Luke did, and I want to thank producer Luke for this because we haven't been able to get back to him, but I want him to know that we appreciate what he did and we see it and it's great. He had somebody who wanted to come on the show. He reached out. He CC'd us on the email, so we got the updates. When we saw it coming, didn't come as a surprise. He reached out, said something like, "Hey, I'm a part-time producer for this podcast, Canary Cry Radio. I really like your work. I think you have a lot to do." And as a producer, reached out to schedule an interview. And this particular person isn't doing interviews, so it's, it didn't work out this time. But the way that producer Luke did it was really impressive, and I want to appreciate producer Luke for that. And yeah, we've sort of begged God for someone to come in and sort of very regularly kind of fill in some of the work stuff that we can't do, Guns. And in this case, scheduling interviews is a huge part of that. I think the only thing that would have been better that we could have done for producer Luke is have like a Calendly or something, like we mark out the times that we already have, so any producer can send that to someone they want on the show, and then it can just get scheduled that way. It'd be easy peasy. But I want to thank and encourage producer Luke for doing this. I want to thank other producers who have done this for us in the past, and I want to encourage people, hey, if you want something on the show, you are a producer of the show, reach out. It is totally legit to say like, hey, like Luke said, he said, I'm a part-time producer for Canary Cry Radio. I listen to your work. Really, I think you'll have a lot to talk about. And, reply all. They're CC'd on this email. Can't wait to hear back from you. It was a beautiful thing producer Luke did. But it will take you and I, Guns, making our sort of schedule available to people. But I think I think if other producers want to step up like that, I think it's a great way to all of us work together to get more interviews on the show, because everybody wants more interviews on the show. So we're trying.
I think it's a good idea. We need to get on it.
I think so. We have some producers who came in, support the show under the executive producer amount. But of course, thanks to our executive producers, and it is value for value, folks. You know it. You love it. We are not in the practice of selling off your time or your trust or your consciousness to get money to keep the show going. You are non-monetized while you're here, but it is the value for value model, which we believe is a real biblical model. It is one that makes everything for free always. And it's not just that, but an opportunity for people who get value from the show to actually participate in a revolutionary act. Okay. If we want to keep the show going, we want to keep it free. It's, as we all know, it takes personal responsibility for all of us, whether that's, not using convenient products that turn us into the product. If something's free, that means you're the product. This counts from social media all the way to whatever little subscriptions you've got going on. Maybe not subscriptions, but free stuff that harvest your consciousness, harvest your time, harvest your data. But we don't do that here. And it's because we're on the value for value model. And so with the understanding that value has to come back into the system to keep it going. It's a revolutionary act to come together, to act together, to actually step outside and practice what we all talk about when it comes to getting free of the sort of evils of the monetized beast system. Highly recommend anybody do it. And it's with your time, your talent, your treasure. Okay, it's not all about money. Maybe you got time to help schedule interviews for us. Maybe you got talent. You can help us out with art or music or tech stuff, website stuff, whatever it is that God's given you to participate in his kingdom work here. You can get involved. All right. You can go to canarycry.support to learn more. If you want to get involved other ways, you can email us at canarycryradio@gmail.com. Or if you have created art or music or jingles, you can go to canarycry.art and upload it there. We'd love to feature it on the show. I want to give a big old shout out again to our executive producers. We thank them at the top of the show. But just to go through them again, who did we have here? We had
Sir Alex Protocol, V2, Baron of the Brian Protocol, Sir Jamie, not the Lannister, Sir Egorius, Knight of the Squatting Slavs, Joey, and Felicia D. Thank you to all of you.
Yes, that's right. And actually, we did get one executive producer came in during the show.
Okay.
I'm gonna put them on the list for Wednesday because I want them to get their credit at the top of the show too.
Yep.
But we got some producers coming under that executive producer amount. Again, another big thank you to all of our monthly producers, which is an excellent way to just get on the team, to practice value for value, to commit to keeping the show alive, and to those monthly producers who sign up for whatever amount that they want. It could be even $1. It's a huge blessing, a huge relief to be able to look ahead 30 days and say, okay, this is what we're working with. We can keep going. But especially last night at 12 a.m. was the deadline to jump on the supply drop, Q4 supply drop with the Canary Cry calendar and the gold back shooting out there. This is something that people have been extremely interested in, which I'm very happy to hear this. This gives us some good data on how to bring more and more and more value to the supply droppers. We had another handful of people sign up for the supply drop. I want to thank them now, starting with producer Sergey K. Coming down the
Sergey K.
Thank you, Sergey. We had Andrew M sign up. Thank you, Andrew M.
Andrew M. Thank you.
We had Cheryl M. Thank you, Cheryl.
Cheryl M. Thank you.
Zachary M. Thank you, Zachary.
Wow, the whole M family's
the whole M family's coming in. And Dame Gail. Thank you very much, Dame Gail.
Dame Gail, thank you.
Oh, and we have a one last one. Producer Jason D signed up for this black.
Jason D. Thank you, Jason.
Very exciting, very helpful. A huge blessing for people to sign up. And we hope that the Canary Cry supply drop is a huge blessing to them. And if you don't know, now you know. If you go to canarycrysupplydrop.com, you'll read all about it, but you support the show for $33.33 a month, and every quarter we'll send you out a package filled with custom Canary Cry gear. It could be apparel, survival gear, of course, fun things like stickers and mugs and other stuff like that. In the Q4, we're, of course, sending out the Canary Cry calendar and a half gold back. That is a real gold precious metal negotiable instrument that is taking the economy by storm, really. It's this almost miraculous way that those of us who see what's going on, we see the pitfalls, the dangers of the shift into the sort of crypto-based beast system coming up. And it's just another way for people to, actually have a hand in whatever this next economic system looks like using real precious metals. So the supply droppers will be receiving that. And while I'm at it, I did get a text message from, who's this? 541 at the Canary Cry text message alert system, sent a text message with a picture of a handful of gold backs. Looks like they got about 12 gold backs. And said, proof of purchase as promised. Thanks again for telling us about goldbacks. So thank you very much. 541. Of course, went to goldback.com and got on the goldback train. I'm going to shoot Jeremy a message. Say, hey, look, man, our people are jumping on. gold backs for life. And you can, of course, if you're on the supply drop, you're going to be getting a gold back this month, or a half gold back rather. But they're not sponsors. This is not a partnership of any kind. But if you've heard our last 2 interviews on Canary Cry Radio, you heard from Jeremy, who's the CEO of goldback.com, and Kim, who is a very Kim the Crusher, who is, I forget her official title over there, but does some incredible work for precious metals legislation and culture. So go check that out. And if you want to get on the Canary Cry text message alert system, it's very easy. Just text the word Canary to 877-740-3226. That's Canary, just the word Canary, to 877-740-3226. You'll get a notification. I will personally text you before we go live every show, so you don't have to rely on faulty notifications and things. But the fun part is you can text us back at that number. I read them. I see them. I cannot carry on a conversation with you via text because it's very expensive for us. 561 says, I was trying to find the thread in my text. I'm trying to donate, please. Well, 561, every notification that goes out when we go live has the canarycry.support link built right in. So
does it?
Yes, it does.
Wow.
Let's see here. So there you go. Yeah, get on the text message alert system. Okay. We have, let's see here. We had producer Julie S come in, support
Julie
the show.
S. Thank you.
Yes, appreciate that. And of course, we had Cage Rattler Coffee.
Cage Rattler Coffee. Hold on, I'm writing Julie S down.
Go to cagerattlercoffee.com, folks. This is parallel economy. This is Canarians making it happen, importing the coffee beans, roasting them small batch, roasted by the loving hands of a Canary Cry coffee roaster, and making Cage Rattler Coffee available to the Canary Cry family. And a portion of every bag goes to support the show. And you can sleep well at night knowing that you're not giving some big evil copy corporation your money who hates you and everything you stand for and everything you believe in. And it's high quality. It's excellent. There's beans from all over the world. And Cage Rattler Coffee just introduced their Coffee of the Month Club subscription. So go sign up for that. A great way to support the show if maybe you're new to value for value and you haven't quite been able to shift the mindset into supporting something that has already given all of its value to you. But also just great coffee. I have it every day. Go check it out. CageRattlerCoffee.com.
Cage Rattler Coffee, where value for value never tasted so good.
So good.
So good.
I didn't see any art or music come in.
I did not either.
But just remember, folks, if you want to create some art, get the kids on the job, break out the crayons. We've got pretty much everything you see and or hear on this show was created by a producer just like you. So it's a great way to put some value back in and improve the show on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any thing to say?
Oh, do I have anything to say on a podcast where speaking is the main thing? I will just mention that I have been rolling out the project for a book, Archetypalism, and I published a video on the YouTube channel and trying to gather some folk who want to be part of maybe focus grouping that and writing the book. So far, I have one person, so it'll,
great.
In the end, it might just be me and this person that writes
Gideon's
the book.
Army. You just
I know.
It's a small
group
of God's people.
Yeah. Yep. So go to
get into that.
Yeah, just go to my Patreon, patreon.com/face like the sun. And there's actually I think I need to update the newest video, or my latest YouTube video is me talking about it for a few minutes there as well. So there you go.
Face Like the Sun channel.
On the Face Like the Sun YouTube channel. Yep.
Yeah, go check it out. I mean, I think it's a very exciting opportunity. Again, people out there, all of us, are always looking for the ways that God is calling us and inviting us to do what he has called us to do. And You know, people have lots of dreams and desires, and they feel called to get involved with something important, like the work that you've done for so long, Gons. And they're just, you know, it's hard. It's hard when you got other stuff going on. It's hard when you know, are alone and you don't exactly know what to do. It's hard to put in the grind and do something like write a book or do a podcast or whatever. It can feel very sort of isolating, especially even more excruciating when you know you feel called to do something like that, but you don't know how to start. You don't know what to get. You know, it's much, much better to be like on a team of people exploring what God has for the world. And this is a great way to get involved with that, much like the Age of Deceit 4, what was it?
It was a 4, Age of Deceit 4 focus group. Yeah.
Focus group, that's right. Yeah, it was like 100 people like got to actively participate, as much as each one of them wanted to, in making Age of Deceit 4 better and better. And that's something they're on the credits. That's something that they'll always have. And I think this is another great example, another great opportunity like that for people who feel that way. So yeah, go to the Face Like the Sun Patreon and just check it out. Get involved. See what Gons has got going on over there.
Yep. And that's about it. That's all I got.
Ethan Bolen 4425 on YouTube says, I don't have any knowledge, but I contribute baseless opinions. You know what? Baseless opinions matter. Believe it or not. Those who are earnest and serious about their opinions and coming at it with the correct, you know, attitude of wanting to make something better, those opinions matter. So go check it out, Ethan. Okay, with that, let's see here. All done. We have a couple producers who helped us out with their time, and I like to call them time stampers.
Time stampers.
Timestamp, it's hard work. Timestamp.
Jade Bouncerson doing the timestamp for 895. Thank you, Jade.
Thank you to Jam, who heads up the Telegram channel and hits us with all sorts of interesting South American news. Adam42 heads up the Discord channel. If you want to join the community, either on Telegram or Discord, you can go to canarycry.party. You'll see the invite links there. Thank you to Joe for the feedback. Thank you to Clank for everything you're doing for us, Clank. And thank you, of course, to Sir Ike, making so many things happen. Yes, you have a comment?
I was just reminded there was something I wanted to ask Clank, because there was people
live on air here.
I do. I want I just want to throw it out there. If he catches it, if he does, you know, great. If not, it's not a big deal. But there was that people were pointing out how Henry Kissinger, right before he passed away, wrote a big thing on AI, and one of the things he talked about was either a project Genesis or a Genesis project or something like that. And so because of Trump's Genesis mission, people were pointing out like, oh, this is Kissinger's agenda of the Genesis AI thing. And we had an episode December 4th, 2023. I believe it was almost exactly 2 years ago, where we covered Henry Kissinger's basically the last of his writings, which had to do with AI. He was I recall sort of, I don't know, amused with his obsession with AI as it was being reported. I think it was episode number 694. Wow, almost exactly what? 200 episodes ago? Interesting. Almost 2 years ago, 200 episodes ago. Henry Technicus. And I want to know if we actually mentioned Genesis in that. I mean, we might have, just because, you know, if it's Genesis, we might have pointed out like, hey, Genesis. And then, you know, here's Kissinger talking about Genesis with AI. So there's a couple articles there. If we did, if not, no biggie. But I was just wondering if Clank can, you know, clank the machine, find out if we actually talked about Genesis as part of the Kissinger conversation with AI 2 years ago, now that everyone's freaking out about the Genesis mission. So
with our record, we probably did. There you go.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, let's see here. Other than that, share the show, folks. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family. I hope the show gave you some interesting things to talk about, some facts, some figures, some opinions that could carry you through a Thanksgiving dinner defending the faith and opening people's eyes to the mainstream media and how they don't have their best interests at heart. That's what it's all about here. So keep sharing the show. It's really the only way anybody's ever going to find the show, because we are locked down on those algorithms, baby. So thank you very much. We call it
You're so low on the totem pole.
And all you got to do is walk right up to him, grab him by the cage, and then you shake it.
The end of the world occurred pretty much as we had predicted.
I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages.
Hey, stop that! You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy. Leave the bird alone. Never. Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few cages.
The human race will have every opportunity to improve.
And if they don't?
Ask Noah.
That's right. Just ask Noah. Guns, you got any last words?
Beware, tomorrow, Tuesday, December 2nd, is the anniversary of Isaac Asimov's book, I, Robot, published in 1950. So 75-year anniversary of I, Robot tomorrow.
Big deal. Big deal.
Yeah.
Certainly, I'm sure Elon has some big, exciting post planned.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
Unveiled.
And also the movie. Maybe the iRobot that's at the bottom of the ocean wakes up tomorrow and says, I am the alien.
We are officially 24 days to Christmas, Gonzo. It has begun. So
the countdown.
Happy December to everybody. We're going to make it through. I believe in you. Other than that, thanks for tuning in to this episode of Canary Crime News Talk. Make sure to tune in next time. But until then, think outside the cave.
Goodbye.
This is the way.
We're all going to die.
We will hunt you down and make you pay.
I will keep you warm and safe in my people zoo.
Toilets! Toilets!
Feed him more.
Remember, reality is an illusion. The universe is a hologram. Buy gold. Buy!
They love killing.
I cry to the Lord with my voice, and to the Lord did I make my supplication. I pour out my complaint before him. I showed before him my trouble. My spirit was it is never me. I lived on my right hand and beheld there reach failed me. No one cared for my soul. I cried unto thee, oh Lord. I said, thou art my refuge and my portion. In the land of the living. Tend unto my God, for I am drawn very low. Deliver me from my persecutors, for they are stronger than I. My soul out of prison, and I may praise thy name. Righteous shall compass me about, for thou shalt deal bountifully with me.
I love the Great Reset.
He's got the solutions for the problems that he created. Just step right up for the Great Reset. For the Great Reset. Hiding in the shadows, he's always behind the scenes. He's pulling on the purse string. He's got control of everything. He's got the solutions to the problems that he created. So sit right up for the Great Reset. For the Great Reset. He serves his master with fervor. He's a Luciferian. He's bound up and determined to bring us to an end. It's the final solution. Destroy the human race. So we'll cry it up to the Great Reset. To the Great Reset. For the Great Reset. For the Great Reset. There's only one way out through the door, but you'll need the code. 10, 5, 19, 21, 19. Or you can step right up for the Great Reset. For the Great Reset. For the Great Reset. For the Great Reset.
Value for value. We take no money from corporations, commies, or cartels.
Canary cried out,